are serious about changing your life for the better, you've got to start where God tells you to start. And God says you don't start with your behavior, your actions, and you don't start with your feelings, your emotions. You start with your mind. The battle for you to be set free from me starts in changing your mind. Be renewed, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The Bible teaches very clearly that the way we act is determined by the way we feel. And the way we feel is determined by the way we think. For instance, if I'm acting depressed, it's because I feel depressed. And if I'm feeling depressed, it's because I'm thinking depressed thoughts. And if I want to get over my depression, I don't force myself to change my behavior. That doesn't work. And I don't force myself to change my feelings. You can't change a feeling. You cannot force a feeling. A guy says, I don't love my wife anymore. So I said, well, okay, what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm just going to force myself to feel that I love her. How will that work? It doesn't work. You can't force a feeling. It's like telling a crying kid, now, I command you to be happy. I'm trying, Daddy, I'm trying. You cannot force a feeling. In fact, when you try to force a feeling, everybody knows you're faking it. You can't force a feeling. You can't fight that feeling anymore. If you laughed at that, you're really old. Okay, you are really, really old. Okay, now, what you do is you change the way you think. And if you change the way you think, that's going to change the way you feel, and it will change the way you act. So if you say, I don't have any feelings for my wife anymore, you can act your way into a feeling, and you can think your way into a feeling, but you can't feel your way into a feeling. If you start acting loving toward your wife, and you start thinking loving thoughts toward your wife, I'm going to tell you what, the feelings will come back. They will return. You act your way into a feeling, and you think your way into a feeling, but you don't feel your way into a feeling. Now, the good thing about this is that now that you're a Christian, you have the Holy Spirit inside of you, and so you can ask Him to help you put good thoughts in your mind. So now you're not just on your own. You're not just out here trying to think up stuff by yourself on what would be a good thing for me to think about. You can say, Holy Spirit, put good thoughts in my mind. That's the second thing we learn from Romans 8. Write this down. Number 2, the second mental habit to defeat the weapons of self-destruction is I ask the Holy Spirit to give me better thoughts. I ask the Holy Spirit to give me better thoughts. And if you ask Him to give you better thoughts, do you think He will? Of course He will. Of course He's going to give you better thoughts. That's a prayer He's going to answer. I ask the Holy Spirit to give me better thoughts. This is the second key to permanent change in your life. Now, this is what it says in the next 2 verses, verses 5 and 6 of Romans 8. Those who live according to the sinful nature have their mindset on what that nature desires. But those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mindset on what the Spirit desires. Now, there's 2 kinds of mindsets. Circle the mindsets. There's the mindset of your old nature, and there's the mindset of the Holy Spirit. There's the mindset of the way I normally think about my life, and there's the mindset of how the Spirit sees my life. Which one's going to be true? The one that the Spirit says. So I have to choose between these mindsets. Am I going to set my mind on the way I normally think about my life, or am I going to set my mind on the way God thinks about my life? Now, there's a big difference in choosing these mindsets, because if you choose one, you're going to get one response, and if you choose the other, you're going to get another. And the next part of the verse tells us what that is. The mind of sinful man is what? That means it's self-destructive. Thoughts that you come up with yourself are going to tend to be self-destructive. The mind of sinful man is death, but the mind controlled by the Spirit is what? Life and peace. Okay, I don't normally do this, but how many of you would like to have life and peace this summer? Yeah, me too. I would like to have life and peace this summer. And it's all about the mindset you choose. The economy may not change. It probably won't. Your problems probably won't change, those ones that are persistent. But your mindset can change. And that's the difference between a life of self-destruction or a life of life and peace. Now, this is the Holy Spirit's answer to uncontrolled thoughts. What I do is I ask the Holy Spirit to give me better thoughts. And this is the principle of replacement. I want you to write this word down. Replacement. The principle of replacement is anytime you want to change something in your life and you're serious about changing it, you don't resist it, you replace it. When you got something negative in your life, you don't resist it, you replace it. You say, I want to stop smoking. You don't smoke, go, I want to stop smoking, I want to stop smoking, I want to stop smoking. You know, it's like Frog and Toad together, that story we read last week. I don't want to eat a cookie and I just ate one. I don't want to eat a cookie and I just ate one. I don't want to eat a cookie. No, because the whole time you're focusing on what you don't want, and whatever you focus on gets your attention. Whatever gets your attention gets you. That's why if you want to break any bad habit in your life, the key is not to resist it, but to refocus. Whatever you resist persists.